Hey, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the short answer, everyone. It is always a great joy to be with you and to connect in this way. And that is actually going to be part of the topic of our conversation this evening, connection. So I'd like to make a couple of announcements, first of all and foremost, because sometimes I forget to say this when we get into our conversations, and then I leave it behind, and then people don't know about what's happening, what's going on. So I have a couple of things that I have to share today. One is there is an advanced anatomy for embodiment this Saturday. Anyone who has a little bit of experience, just a little bit with anatomy, but would like to know more about the anatomy that we're utilizing inside of the energy codes and in the best treatments and in best technique utilization, remote healing, or if you happen to be a BodyAwake yoga student or an instructor and would like to join us on Saturday, it is a full day. I'm very much looking forward to that from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. So the link is in the comments area here for you. There is also a super cool thing coming up, which I'm going to share with you in just a moment. And I also want to share with you that we have a BodyAwake School of Yoga teacher training certification beginning. It's a whole group that goes through a yoga certification together, learning how to be a teacher or just learning more about the in-depth aspects of the asanas so that you get most out of them, what they are intended to be delivering in terms of building neurocircuitry and electromagnetic energy flowing through your body for healing, for more clarity, for understanding the purpose of your life and the purpose of life itself, and being able to connect with what it is that matters most to you, making decisions easily, and how to self-heal, just to mention a few things. So we very much love our BodyAwake Yoga and love joining together in this group training that happens over 10 modules all year long. There is a beautiful thing that we can engage in. Starts on February 15th, I believe. And yes, and so then I want to share with you that there is a class coming up. I'm very excited about it, that I am teaching with dear friend Neale Walsch, who will be joining me on Friday night as a guest speaker in a conversation about love and the power of love. The name of the course is Living in the Energy of Love, and I'm very excited about this, using love not just as a sentiment, but truly as a tool for engaging ourselves in an entirely different reality than the one that most of our lives has been training us into, and delivering back, of course, as a byproduct of our focus. So teaching people how to lead with love, live in love, and generate more of this loving vibration in their life experience. So it's not about romantic love, although I can't really claim that that's not going to happen, but it is truly about loving in every sense of the word and what it is meant to be in our lives. We're actually made of love, but that's a secret I'm going to share a little bit more about later. I also want to invite you into a challenge that's coming up called the Connection Experience. And it is a Facebook challenge that we're going to be doing next week. I'm very much thrilled about it because of what we're going to be building an ability to connect in all sorts of ways that people are feeling quite a lot of loss in right now. And I want to speak to you about this as our short answer as well, and just kind of blend these two conversations together, that there is a challenge coming up next week to help you learn more about what I'm about to say. And this thing called love is a tremendous, valuable component to our makeup. It is the foundation of our experience and what we're meant to be expressing and exchanging while we're here on Earth. And so often we have a challenging time doing that because we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to do that. So we have a challenge in reaching out. We have a challenge in expressing lovingly. We have a challenge in connecting with opportunities where love can flourish and love can find its way into the circumstances of our lives, into the conversations, even in meetings, into the conversations with family dynamics, into the exchanges in the grocery store. Always there is an opportunity for us to be experiencing a more fluid, flowing connectivity in life. We have a tendency to perceive ourselves as these isolated, separate beings who have to figure out how to make it in the world, how to make this work. What do I do next? I don't know what to do. I can't find my inner wisdom. I can't connect with the deeper truth of who I am, or even have an understanding of how I'm supposed to be engaging in this world with grace and ease. And people talk about abundance and success, and it didn't happen in my world. So if that's the case with you, please know that connection is your birthright. Connection is actually what you're made to do. It's the doing of the being that is you. So when we are here to explore and express and be on this grand adventure, if it's not feeling like an adventure, chances are we're not connecting internally. Chances are we're not connecting with source. We're not connecting the mind with the body, with the breath, and we're not feeling it. I assure you that if you are in pain in your life, either physically, mentally, emotionally, or even a spiritual crisis, for sure, it is a lack of connection that is happening. If you are not self-healing, if you are having a difficult time with symptomatology, perhaps, that you've come in contact with in the past couple of years through our pandemic, or perhaps you know family members that are having a hard time coming back from something that is related to what our world is experiencing right now, there is a connection that could happen in the neurocircuitry and in the electromagnetic energy flow that would allow for that to reach its completion and be done, and allow this individual to rise again with certainty and clarity, without the brain fog, without the fatigue, without the feeling lost or wondering if it's going to come back, or if it's even going to happen to me if you haven't been exposed to these conditions. But really what I want you to get is that the whole thing is happening because of a lack of connection. So think in terms of connecting, as I mentioned, mind and body and breath, but also think in terms, of course, of connecting with other people. Think in terms of connecting with your Mother Nature. Think in terms of connecting with your true, authentic self. Think in terms of connecting with the soul. Think in terms of connecting the dots in a circumstance that you've just never been able to put your finger on or understand. You've never come to completion with it. It's just kind of dangling out there and hanging over your head. It's a lack of connectivity. Like we can hear somebody say something and we just can't feel it. There's a disconnect between what they're saying and what they're being, what they're emanating and what they're radiating. Or we might find ourselves in a situation where we're having to do something, but we're not really feeling it. We can't connect with it. We can't relate. Or maybe there's a movie that you're watching or a book that you're reading, and it's just not, something's just not happening. And we all know what it feels like when that connection is happening. We know what it feels like when you meet someone and it's like, I have no idea why I like you so much. You haven't even said very much, but it's just here. I just feel it, the juice. And it's not, inappropriate. It's just this connection. It's just this resonance, this coherence. And we are all built to have that, actually, in more types of situations than we think. We are built to be connected. In fact, quantum science would have us know that there's only one of us here. So connectivity is the name of the game to find the rest of who I am. Connectivity is how I'm ever going to feel like I'm in the game. I know for my personal experience in the early years of my life, the disconnect was huge. I was feeling something on the inside, and it was pure love, and it was innocent, and it was presence, and it was sincerity, and it was later what I learned to be integrity. And what I was witnessing in the outer world didn't match what I was feeling. There was a disconnect. And so in that moment, I had a choice, and I'm this big, right? So I had a choice to either, be a bully and force the connection, or decide that they needed to learn something, or retreat. And of course, I retreated. And many of you know that about my story, that I slept on the floor in my closet. I played alone a lot. I just was withdrawn. I would break into tears if an adult would start talking to me. It wasn't a lot of fun, but it was all I knew. It was the life and the world that I knew to be living. And so in the midst of this, what we have to do is realize that that disconnect can no longer keep us encased. It cannot keep us imprisoned. We cannot allow that to continue, because that turns into not going for it with a job opportunity, not allowing yourself to feel the fulfillment of the benefits of all the hard work that you've put into something. It turns into not reaching out and speaking to someone when you really want to meet them, or you really want to share with them, or you really want them to know how much you care, but you just withhold. You disconnect even further, because in those early years, when we have experiences that are disconnecting, in order for our subconscious, who got used to us being disconnected over the years, in order for our subconscious to continue to feel like we are normal, like we're our old self, like we're safe in some way, it has to continue to disconnect us from present time circumstances. It will cause us to withdraw when the party is saying yes, we go the other direction, or we don't even accept the invitation. It causes us to not invite someone over to our house because, we don't know if they're going to like this or like that, or if it's going to be okay or be enough in some way. And these things are stealing life from us. They are robbing us from the joyous, graceful, loving, beautiful exchange that is available to every single one of us. And there are literally no exceptions to that. And so this idea of connecting and learning how to master this connection is a huge thing. And I'd love for you to just become aware this week, right up until our challenge next week, when I'm really going to ask you to do some juicy, fun things regarding connectivity in all of the various topics of life, and finding how we respond in these various situations that we are going to generate for ourselves, but together in this next week in the connection experience, which is a challenge that I'm going to elevate us around the world into leaning in, and elevate us into connecting and bonding and receiving and having and sharing and being a little bit more free than we were. But what I'd love for you to do in the meantime is pay attention to the moments that you withdraw, even if it's just with your thoughts. Maybe you come to a conversation enthusiastic and hopeful about something, and halfway into it, your subconscious is tallying things up and it's realizing, oh, this isn't going to be what I thought it was going to be, and boom, you shut down. But keeping in mind one of the basic truths that we work with at Mortar Institute, which is everything that happens is in your favor. Okay, that's a big one. Everything, no exceptions. What happens, everything that happens is in your favor. It is perhaps trying to encourage you into connection. But if you don't know how to do that, then it becomes elusive, and another day goes by and you still feel the same. So take inventory. Have you been feeling more isolated than usual? Have you been wondering if it would still be the same if you were out there, engaging with people and exchanging in the ways that you used to in the social circles, or maybe even the workplace in ways that you were? Have you started to have to really have a talk with yourself about, it's okay, it's all right, things aren't the same, but it's okay, I've gotten used to this and I've adapted to that. What I want to make sure our community is filled with is an abundance of tools and technologies to allow them to know exactly what to do if they're feeling that way. So if you've been a little bit on the fence in that department and wondering if it's ever going to feel as good and carefree and delightful as it used to, then I would encourage you to think about it this way. There's an evolution taking place. And in that evolution, you, each of us is being asked to expand into more of the truth of who we are, that doesn't depend on the outer world to deliver the feeling of connectivity and love and support that we had become dependent on. We used our five senses in a particular way to feel connected, to get the feedback, to know that all is well. And we are being asked to expand our understanding of what life is, expand our understanding of what our capacity is to generate the life experience, to be the causative factor, to be the one that chooses and allows abundance of love and flourishing connectivity in all areas of our lives to happen. And if we don't know how to do that, it can be quite painful. So here's the invitation. We're being asked to evolve and to expand our understanding of who we are. Let's take a look right now, this week, into how we withdraw, how we pull away, how we shy off of the possibility. Or if we push our way into something and make it happen, we'll still end up with no friends, because that's not the way the river's supposed to roll. And when we push the river like that, we end up excluding ourselves vibrationally. Someone can innocently be sitting there willing to become a friend of yours. And if you throw yourself on them and you start barreling all these ideas or you push something into it, they're going to withdraw. And it's all because of a vibrational frequency imbalance. It's not sattvic, it's not sacred. It's not in a holy wholeness sort of approach to life that we're engaging. It's based in fear, and it's based in lack, and it's based in over trying or under trying and pushing away and rejecting. So if any of these things are going on, we got to get a handle on it, because this thing that we're in, it isn't going away anytime soon. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to until we gain everything from it that it is here to provide as a classroom for us. Life is an exercise in consciousness, and it is always attempting to expand us into the magnificent truth of who we are. So this week, let's pay attention. Am I connected to my own heart? Am I connected to my breath? Am I connected to a sense of adventure? Am I willing to engage and to take the leap and to begin to hone and refine myself in any greater capacity than I've been allowing? I assure you, no matter how whole and healthy and wise and integrated and grounded you feel, there is always room for more expansion, more depth for your character to fill in, more openness for your soul to flourish in, and a higher bird's eye view perspective of life that is meant to be achieved, awakened to, so that we can see that we are truly divine beings here, a presence of the God source energy itself and the unified field in motion. So let's begin to allow that to happen. And I'm hoping that you'll join me in the challenge. You can certainly stay plugged into it. In Facebook, we'll be sending out information about how to engage. And I do believe there's even something in the chat available for you. Let me see. Doesn't say here in how to engage with us there. But if you'll stay tuned, it will definitely be making itself available. So stay connected so that you can learn how to become more flourishing in that department of your life. It is your true nature. And when we integrate, the abundance of that connectivity is all we would ever choose. So let's start that. Let's deepen it and let's expand upon it together. All right. So much love to you. I'm hoping that you'll join us for the masterclass, which is coming up at the bottom of the hour in about 12 minutes or so. And we'll be discussing things that you want to discuss, and I'll be weaving it together in terms of what is serving us now in this very real moment for humanity. So if you're not a member, a gold member of at the Institute, you can click on the link in the chat as well and join us and be plugged in time to join the conversation this evening. So I look forward to sharing with you for about an hour, starting at the bottom of the hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour or so in our masterclass. So much love to you all. And I look forward to what is next for us. Much, much love. Namaste.
No.